Well, you know her as host of Fox News at Night, but did you know that Shannon Bream once competed in the Miss USA pageant and the Miss America pageant? She is sharing stories in her new book, Finding the Bright Side, The Art of Chasing What Matters.
It officially goes on sale tomorrow. You can pre-order it today. Shannon Bream joins us live. Great to have you.
Why, thank you, Janice Dean.
Right.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You are going to read a passage out of your book that people will be shocked to hear.
I hope that they like this, and this is all true, okay? When you walk in and see that the head of human resources is sitting in the meeting you've been called into, it's not a good sign. Mr. Boss proceeded to unload, giving me a speech that went something like this. I'm not sure who thought it was a good idea to put you on television, but you are the worst I've ever seen. You will never make it in this business.
You didn't use his name.
Say that.
I didn't use his name. It's like Mr. Big.
So,
it's like
you talked to him since?
I haven't talked to him since.
Set the
It
stage.
was painful.
Set the stage.
How do you like me now?
What was the job? What was the circumstance?
It was my very first job in TV. And listen, I was doing everything, working the prompter, making coffee, writing scripts for the other anchors who were actually doing this thing. I had left my job as a lawyer, so I was now working as a reporter, just figuring it out as I went. I probably was terrible.
No.
Thankfully, we haven't found any videos from back then. But yeah, he called me in and said, the last guy who gave you the shot and put you on, big mistake. And you should go back to being a lawyer.
So how did you find the bright side in that?
You know, it was really tough. I spent months, no one returning my calls, crickets chirping, no one cared about my resume reel or anything else. For me, my faith is the most important thing in my life. I prayed a lot and said, God, I know that there's purpose in this. And there really was. I mean, it was a winding path, but I ended up here.
You grew up in Tallahassee, went to Liberty University, then law school at Florida State, and then tell us about your pageant experience, because you were Miss Florida and you were Miss Virginia, is that right? Two different pageants?
You know what? I did this Miss Virginia thing when I was in college at Liberty. It was my first stab at it, and the guy who did my hair was the local director of the pageant, Gary. He was fantastic, and he, for some reason, saw through everything and said, I think you can do this. And 6 months later, I ended up in the finals of Miss America.
Janice, you know Shannon. We both read the book. What's your thoughts?
I laughed, I cried, I love the whole thing, and can I just read the beginning of it, because it's beautiful. To my mama for giving me the strongest wings, and to my beloved Sheldon for making me believe I could actually fly.
You're going to make me cry.
Well,
So
it's
she's
beautiful
Walters
because
over here.
you talk about your mom in the book, and you talk about Sheldon, your two greatest loves, and I think everyone can relate to this story, and I love it, and it's wonderful, and you're my bestie, so of course I'm a little bit biased.
a little bit biased.
Right.
Very strict upbringing.
Super. I mean, one of the two of the chapters, Meanest Mom in the World, which my mom loves that title. I mean, this is not disparaging her.
She's not.
And Footloose, but not fancy free. Footloose actually came out when I was in high school, and I was not even allowed to see the movie because I lived in Footloose. There was no dancing, there was no drinking, there was none of that stuff. So, yeah, pretty strict. There's my mama. She's amazing.
We love her.
And we love Marie. And, yeah, she cracked the whip, but it was really good for me. In retrospect, later, you can appreciate all the trouble that your parents kept you out of. But at the time, yeah.
And your dad died suddenly, right? You say you're more like your mom, but a lot like your dad in the fact that he put God and country first.
Yeah, my dad was a Marine, and he was a former cop. We joke about that if you were sleeping past like 8 o'clock in the morning, he'd be yelling at you saying, they're already having lunch at Paris Island, get up! From boot camp. He was pretty strict too, but so devoted to the country. In fact, Fox News launched on his birthday, October 7th.
Oh, wow.
He loved that, and he loved that this place gave people like him a voice.
And we love this book, Finding the Bright Side. I cannot wait to see you talk about it. We have a chance to read it. It's great.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys. Good to see you in person.
Fox and Friends in just a moment. We're going to talk on the couch.
Sometimes the pressures of